welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something really fundamental, basically how we talk about what we like. It sounds simple, but getting it right is key for, making connections, learning fast.
Definitely. We looked at this English conversation guide, pretty basic stuff on the surface.
Right.
But when you dig in, it actually lays out this surprisingly solid structure, like an architecture for expressing preferences.
Exactly. So our mission today is to pull out that framework. We want to give you something you can use straight away to say what you like, but also how much you like it, adding that nuance. Yeah, because the source material, it's all built around answering that one question, what do you like to do? But it does it by giving you these different levels, these tools for showing emotional intensity. It's not just vocabulary. It's the engineering of small talk. It really is. And that structure, that's the core insight, right? It helps you connect better. By using these specific phrases, you signal where your real interests are, what's just casual, and basically what someone should ask you more about if they want a deeper conversation.
It's like a shortcut to finding common ground.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this toolkit right from the beginning.
So, the absolute foundation, the starting point for everything is I like. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's the most common one, super versatile. Kind of the safest bet, wouldn't you say?
Totally. You can use it for anything. I like pizza. I like weekends. I like coffee. I like to read. It works across the board.
It's that universal connector. It shows you're positive about something, but without, putting too much weight on it. If it's something new you're trying or you just feel mildly positive, I like is perfect. Low commitment.
And technically, it's really flexible with grammar, which we'll get into more later. It just sets that baseline positive feeling.
But you can't just say I like all the time, can you? It would sound a bit flat.
Right, exactly. You need ways to show you're a bit more invested, that something gives you more than just mild pleasure.
So how do you signal that step up, that move from just interest to, active enjoyment?
Okay, this is where the framework brings in I enjoy. It's that first step up the intensity ladder. It signals something provides, sustained satisfaction, something you actually seek out.
Okay, I enjoy. It feels a bit stronger.
It does. And here's where the guide points out a really key linguistic detail, something important for sounding natural.
Ah, okay. What's that?
With enjoy, you typically follow it with the verb ending in ing, the gerund form.
Ah, right. Like, I enjoy walking, not I enjoy to walk.
Exactly. I enjoy reading. I enjoy walking in the park. That ing form makes the action feel more ongoing, more part of you somehow.
That's a subtle but really important shift for a learner, isn't it? Because I like to read is fine,
Perfectly fine.
but I enjoy to read, like you said, just sounds off, a bit clunky.
It does. Nailing that I enjoy reading shows you're engaging with the language more deeply, and it reinforces that stronger connection to the activity itself. The grammar supports the feeling.
Okay, so we have like as the base, enjoy for a stronger, more active feeling, often
Yeah.
with ing. What? That brings us to the peak. The big one. I love.
Oh,
Okay, high stakes, definitely. The guide is clear. This is for things you like very, very much. When you use I love, you're saying, this is important. This is part of who I am. It's like shining a spotlight on something. So the examples were things like, I love music. I love dogs. I love chocolate.
and even I love weekends, which sounds obvious, maybe.
Yeah, who doesn't?
But using love even there, it taps into that shared human feeling, that deep appreciation for rest and freedom. It creates an instant bond without needing explanation.
So using love immediately flags it as a high priority topic for conversation.
Absolutely. It's a direct invitation. Ask me more about this thing I love. But, there's a slight caution needed there. Oh.
Well, it's powerful, so you don't want to overuse it.
That-
If you love everything, then the word loses its impact.
Right, diminishes the currency. So save it for the things that genuinely light you up. Precisely. Use it strategically to show what truly matters to you. It sets the agenda for where the conversation should go next.
Okay, so we've got the emotional levels mapped out, like enjoy, love. Now let's look at the verbs themselves, the actions. The guide offers something really useful here, doesn't it? That flexibility in structure.
Yeah, this is great, especially for learners. It talks about the dual verb construction, mainly with I like.
Right. It basically says you've got two correct ways to say most things.
Exactly. You can use the infinitive form, like I like to read, or you can use the gerund form, I like reading.
And both are perfectly okay.
Pretty much interchangeable in everyday conversation. I like to walk, I like walking. Both sound natural, both get the point across.
That must take a lot of pressure off when you're speaking. You don't have to constantly second-guess the grammar.
Totally. It's a bit of a safety net. You can focus more on what you're saying, the content, rather than worrying about minor grammatical distinctions.
And that lets you get to the more interesting stuff faster, the details.
Precisely, because that's where the real connection happens. Let's take reading, for example. The guy doesn't just stop at, I like reading.
No, it gets specific. It mentions preferring storybooks.
Mm-hmm.
And even better, it ties it to a ritual. Reading in the morning with my coffee.
Hmm.
Okay, that paints a picture. And crucially, it gives the reason because it is relaxing. That whole package, the what, the when, the why, the feeling, that's what makes it conversational gold. Yeah, that little detail about the coffee and the morning routine, it tells you something about the person's rhythm, their need for calm. It's more than just liking books.
It's a behavioral snapshot. And it's the same with
yeah.
the walking example. It's not just, I like walking.
No, it adds frequency maybe 3 times a week.
And sensory details, the trees, the flowers in the park. Those specifics make it relatable and give the other person something concrete to respond to.
That's the key difference, isn't it? Between just stating a fact and actually starting a conversation. I like walking. Might get you a nod. But I enjoy walking in the park near my house, maybe 3 times a week, especially when the flowers are out. Now you've given them hooks. They can ask about the park, your routine, share their own nature experiences.
Exactly, it opens doors. And this applies just as much to creative things like cooking.
Ah, yes, the cooking example. That was good.
It grounds the preference in a practical skill. The specific phrase was, I enjoy making pasta.
Right. But again, the detail. A simple tomato sauce.
Why does that tiny detail work so well?
Well, simple tomato sauce. It suggests something comforting, maybe traditional, maybe focusing on good ingredients. It says a lot more than just, I enjoy cooking Italian. It hints at a whole food philosophy.
It really does. And then, brilliantly, the guide uses contrast. It introduces someone who says they're not a good cook.
Yeah, which is also important conversational information. Crucial. Because they don't just stop there. They use the same structure, but pivot. I enjoy eating pasta.
Ah, clever. So you can still connect over the shared love of pasta, even if one cooks and the other just eats. Exactly. It shows how you navigate differences in skill or interest. Expressing what you don't do or aren't good at is just as important for building an honest connection. It might lead to someone offering to cook for you or recommending a restaurant. It keeps the conversation flowing.
Okay, so we've covered personal routines and skills. Now, let's broaden out to social stuff, leisure activities. The guide groups these thematically, which is helpful, starting with media and entertainment.
Yeah, always a good area for finding common ground. Music is a great example in the guide.
Right, and it wasn't just about listing genres. It linked the preference to the effect of the music.
Exactly. So you have pop music, which is liked because it makes one want to dance. That's active, energetic enjoyment.
Okay, and the contrast was?
Jazz, which is loved because it's very relaxing.
Right.
Passive enjoyment, calming.
So under the same banner of loving music, you can have completely different reasons and desired outcomes. And sharing the why is the key bit for connection.
Absolutely. Saying you like pop because you love dancing tells me something about your energy levels, your need for physical expression. Saying you love jazz because it chills you out tells me something else entirely, maybe, about your need for reflection or calm.
Makes sense. And that focus on intention carries over into movies and TV too, right?
The examples given, funny movies, comedies because they make me laugh, and action movies with cars and lots of adventure, they tap into basis needs, release through laughter or escape through excitement.
And it also mentioned the context of watching cinema versus home. That felt important too.
Yeah, that's a great point. You might love action movies, but prefer watching them at home where you can control the volume or pause for snacks.
Right. So it's not just what you like, but how you like to experience it. Saying, I love comedies, but I enjoy watching them curled up on my sofa gives a much fuller picture.
Definitely. And the guide also includes newer media like watching TV series and listening to podcasts in the evening for relaxation.
Which validates those activities as totally normal, valuable ways to spend leisure time.
And it even gives that little meta nod to the Mr. English Channel podcast,
Yeah, I noticed that.
which kind of signals to the listener, hey, talking about the stuff you use to learn or improve yourself, that's a perfectly fine topic for conversation too.
Good point. Okay, what about physical activity? The guide made a distinction there.
Yeah, between doing and watching. When it talked about playing sports, the example was football with friends.
And the emphasis wasn't on skill, was it?
Not at all. The key phrase was, I enjoy playing. That's the important part. It takes the pressure off performance and focuses on the fun, the social side. That's a really useful way to frame it.
It lets you share enjoyment without having to claim you're, Lionel Messi.
Exactly. But then contrast that with watching sports. The example was tennis on TV.
Ah, okay. A spectator activity. Right. And this is where you might use that simple negative structure we'll discuss more later. I don't really play tennis, but I love watching it. It lets you join the conversation about sports culture without needing to be an athlete. Got it. So playing is about camaraderie. Watching is about appreciation or analysis. Different things.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, in this section, the guide highlights something absolutely central. Social connection itself. Family and friends.
Yeah, the everyday stuff that actually makes up a lot of our lives. It might seem mundane, but sharing these details is fundamental. The examples are very grounded. Visiting my parents on weekends for lunch and talk, or meeting friends for coffee to talk and laugh a lot.
By sharing these simple routines, you're actually sharing your values, that connection, community, spending quality time are priorities for you. You structure your free time around them.
And those specifics, sharing a meal, laughing over coffee, they're much more powerful than just saying family's important, aren't they? Way more powerful. They're tangible moments the listener can relate to, ask about, or share their own versions of. It's the bedrock of building rapport.
Okay, so we need to talk about the flip side, too. A full picture includes what you don't like. The simple negative, I don't like.
Right. Structurally easy, just adding don't. But communicatively useful for drawing lines.
Exactly. It sets boundaries. The guide gives clear examples. I like coffee. I don't like tea. Simple preference. Or I don't like to play sports very much. Activity boundary. It helps steer the conversation productively.
But the shopping example was more nuanced, wasn't it? It wasn't just a blanket, I don't like shopping.
No, and that's key. The specific dislike was for shopping for clothes, and the reason given was because it's tiring.
Ah, okay. So the issue isn't the shopping itself, it's the energy drain of that specific kind of shopping.
Precisely. And explaining the why gives insight. This person dislikes the fatigue of clothes shopping. But then the guide adds that they do like shopping for books, can spend hours doing that.
So intellectual stimulation, yes. Trying on jeans, no. Pretty much. And it links back, they also like shopping for food, specifically choosing fresh vegetables and fruits.
Which connects to the enjoyment of cooking we talked about earlier.
Exactly. So the don't like combined with the like gives this really detailed profile. Dislikes energy-draining tasks. Loves activities connected to core passions like reading and cooking. Negation with details is incredibly informative. Okay, so don't like sets current boundaries. What about future possibilities? Dreams, aspirations.
That's where I would love to comes in. It's the perfect phrase for talking about future goals without making a firm commitment right now.
Low pressure way to share ambitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it signals openness to growth. The examples were things like, I would love to learn to play the guitar, and importantly, it adds the acknowledgement it's difficult. Shows realism alongside the dream.
Right.
Not just wishful thinking. Or wanting to learn Spanish because it's a beautiful language.
That word beautiful is telling, isn't it? It suggests the motivation is aesthetic, cultural, not just practical. Reveals values again. And travel, of course. Always a winner in conversation. Universal connector. The examples were specific. Visiting Italy for the food pasta. directly linked to that cooking eating enjoyment. Makes sense.
And visiting Japan, described as very beautiful, again, that aesthetic appreciation. These are instant conversation starters. People can share their own travel dreams or experiences.
So the framework isn't just about current likes, but
Yeah.
future ones too. And it even extends to the environment, like seasons and weather.
Simple, relatable points of connection. It contrasts loving summer for the long sunny days with loving autumn.
And again, the detail. For autumn, it wasn't just autumn, it was the colors red, yellow, orange trees. That visual makes it much more engaging.
Specificity always wins. And then there's weather tolerance. I like sunny days. I don't like rainy days. Pretty standard.
But it added that little caveat, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, acknowledging that some people like rainy days, for staying inside with a book and tea.
Aye.
And the crucial phrase, it's okay to like different things. That shows maturity, doesn't it? Accepting diverse preferences rather than just stating your own taste is the only way.
Exactly. It keeps the conversation inclusive. Which brings us nicely to the final piece, the synthesis exercise, the Alex Challenge.
Right. This felt like pulling it all together. Using the framework to build a quick profile of someone else. It shifts from just using the language to analyzing personality through these preferences we get. Alex likes to wake up early. Alex loves drinking orange juice for breakfast. Okay, morning person. Specific breakfast habit. Then a negative. Alex doesn't like coffee in the evening. Defines an evening boundary. Got it. And then the killer detail. Alex loves to cook dinner, but he doesn't like washing the dishes. That's so relatable. Love the creative part, hate the cleanup.
Isn't it just? That single sentence, using loves and doesn't like in contrast, captures a whole personality quirk. It makes Alex feel real.
So this whole exercise demonstrates that these simple phrases like enjoy, love, don't like, would love to, aren't just grammar drills. They're tools for rapidly understanding and describing people's habits, passions, and even their little contradictions.
Absolutely. It's a blueprint for both expressing yourself and for listening effectively to understand others. If you can pick out these signals, you can connect much faster. That's the real power here. #tag outro.
So wrapping this up, the core toolkit we've extracted is pretty powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got I like as your versatile base. I enjoy stepping it up, often with that crucial ing for active engagement.
Right.
I love for the big passions, the identity stuff.
To non-negotiables.
I don't like to set clear boundaries and preferences. And I would love to for sharing those future dreams and aspirations.
And using the structure, these specific tools, makes your conversations so much richer. You move past just stating facts into sharing meaningful bits of your life. The simple tomato sauce, the tiring nature of clothes shopping, the love of autumn colors.
Yeah, those details are everything. They turn it from a list into a story.
Exactly. It's not just about grammar, it's about connection. Sharing the specifics of what makes you happy, what you value, what your routines look like, that's how you build bridges with people.
And speaking of specifics and intensity, that final prompt in the source material asking what you like got us thinking.
So, here's a final thought to mull over. Playing with that intensity scale we discussed. If you had to pick just one phrase, I love, that top-tier commitment,
Yeah.
what single, highly specific activity or thing, something beyond the general examples like reading or walking, would you choose right now to represent a core part of your personality using I love?
Ooh, interesting. Just one thing you love. Just one. And then ask yourself, what does choosing that specific thing reveal about your deepest values or how you truly want to spend your time? That's a great question. What single I love defines you? Something to really think about.
Oh.
Okay, that's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.